Okay, yeah. Thanks for having me here. My name is Matthias Holtmann. I'm working with RWE Generation in Germany, and I'm the technical project manager of a 300 megawatt project, which I want to introduce to you today. In this presentation, I want to show you the general RWE green hydrogen production roadmap, our pilot plant, and later on the 300 megawatt Nucleus plant. First of all, I would like to give you a small input in the RWE green hydrogen strategy. So what we offer is not only hydrogen, but we have the full scale from renewable energy production to the production of green hydrogen. We do have the logistics, like we own or we are developing and building own hydrogen storages, for example in salt caverns, so really huge potential of hydrogen storage. And we also have kind of the customer solutions. That means we have own hydrogen ready power plants in our fleet, or we will have at least, so that we can offer the full scale of green hydrogen production and use. So in Europe, we have a clear roadmap, and we want to have 2 gigawatt of green hydrogen production until 2030. This comes out of a roadmap that we have on projects of 10 gigawatts already, and a little bit focusing on the US. There we have not yet a clear target, but we are here ramping up our business. That means also here we want to produce green hydrogen out of our green renewable energy sources that we have also in the US. So now after that, I want to show you our first real world project, which is the hydrogen pilot plant in Lingen. Lingen is a site in Western Germany. Our pilot plant is a 14 megawatt plant. A few details on the next slide. It is located at our gas-fired, so natural gas-fired power plant, close to the river Ems, so with a really good connection to both the electrical grid and water supply from the river Ems. It's the first green hydrogen plant on a commercial scale within RWE, and it is one of the largest hydrogen plants at the moment in the world. It's really nearly up and running. It is the fundament for all our projects that we want to develop and want to execute in the future with both technologies, alkaline and PEM. We also built a first offtake here, so we built a hydrogen filling station and trailer station directly next to the plant, so also at our plant in Lingen. And our plan is, together with a joint venture partner, to develop up to 70 hydrogen filling stations within Western Germany until 2030. This pilot plant shall be a positive signal to all our customers that RWE is really doing it and not just talking about it. So a little outlook to the technologies that we use in the pilot plant. So as I said, we have 14 megawatt at stack in total, which divides into 10 megawatt of alkaline technology from Sunfire in Germany, and 4 megawatt of ITM PEM technology out of the UK, together with the EPC or integrator Linde, also from Germany. So that means we have both mature technologies within this project, so that we gain as much experience as possible out of this project. We are focusing here not only about the stacks, but the whole life cycle of an electrolyzer plant, like what is the quality that we can get directly out of the stack? What's the best strategy to drive an electrolyzer plant working with volatile energy sources like wind profiles or solar profiles? So how did we execute this project? In this project, we were not focusing on building the best technical project with the highest efficiency. We were focusing on speed. So speed is key here. If you're looking on the timeline, we started with the FID in November 2021, and now and today we are in the final ramp-up phase. So that means the commercial or the start of production is not commercialized, but the start of production will be hopefully this month. That means all of the stacks have already produced green hydrogen. So, but this is just our pilot plant that I just introduced to you, and this is just the fundamental. So RWE is not focusing on pilot plants, obviously, but we are focusing on 100 megawatt scale green hydrogen production plants. And now I want to introduce the Nucleus plant, which is also located in Lingen to you, where I am one of the technical project leaders. So the Nucleus project is part of the Get H2 initiative in Western Germany, which is focusing on the whole scale of hydrogen production. That means production, but also logistics like pipeline, which is very important to bring the product to the customers. So there will be a pipeline connecting Lingen to the Ruhr area, 20 kilometers to the south, where the big off-takers like chemical and steel are located. Also included in this Get H2 initiative is the storage. As I already said, RWE is at the moment executing a big storage project where we build 2 salt caverns to store green hydrogen out of our Nucleus 300 megawatt production plant. This whole Get H2 initiative is a funded project initiative from the European Union. It's called the IPCEI funding, so important projects for common European interest. So we are really talking about several billions of euros that will be funded or given from the government to this single project. And it's not only RWE here, we are also seeing like BP, Evonik, other grid operators like Novega, OGE or ThyssenKrupp in this project wave of IPCEI funding projects. So, small overview about our 300 megawatt Nucleus project. We do have 3 independent lines here, 3 independent 100 megawatt lines. And we are aiming to produce around 50,000 tons of green hydrogen per year after the plant is fully in operation. We also had to build several infrastructure, obviously, so it's about water treatment, it's about grid connection, and obviously also the pipeline connection that we needed to establish. Everything is close by our plant already, but this was a big advantage to this site, and that's the reason why we decided for this site. But it was not so easy to connect everything on a running gas-fired power plant to the single infrastructure points. Thinking about this gas-fired power plants was coming into service in the 1960s. So the goal is for the first line to start real commercial production within 2025 already. That means we already started execution. The second line will follow a year after, and the third line, that means the full 300 megawatt, will be up and running in 2027 already. So what's the status of the project today? 2 of the 100 megawatt lines are already ordered from Linde Engineering with ITM technology, so ITM PEM technology, that's publicly known. The third 100 megawatt line is in final negotiation. Hopefully we will announce the vendors this or next month. We got all permit approvals, which was also not so easy because also the authorities dealing with, for them, new technologies. So that was a bit of a challenge for both sides, us and the authorities. But we now have all permits that we need in place. As I said, the construction already started. That means we have not yet our FID taken, we have not yet the funding approval, but we already started execution. That means the first walls of the 100 megawatt line are already built. They are there in Lingen. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to show you some pictures. And the first 200 megawatt are already ordered and the stacks are built. That means we are really doing this project. Small outlook, what is possible in Lingen. So in Lingen, we have the potential of build up to 2 gigawatt of green electrolyzer capacity. This is, I guess, not in this decade, but this is possible, I guess, until the early 2030s if the market evolves as planned. So my last content slide, this is a nice visualization I get of this full 300 megawatt line. What you see here is the comparison of on the right side, the cooling tower of the gas-fired power plant, which has a height of roughly 400 feet, compared to, on the left side and the middle, our 300 megawatt line. So it's a huge building, it's a huge plant. It is a challenge for everybody in the project, but as I said, we are good on track and we're very confident to deliver in time so that we see the first 100 megawatt in production within 2025. So this is just a glimpse of what RWE is doing at the moment in real. I am open for question, and if you want to connect with either my colleague Laura from the US or me, feel free to reach out to us. We are open for every question, we are open for every discussion here. So, any questions from your side? There should be a microphone coming.
Where will you get the power from?
For the pilot plant, it will be just 14 megawatt. This is kind of spare power from the gas-fired power plant. And the 300 megawatt will be a PPA from North Sea offshore wind farms.
2 gigawatts?
The 2 gigawatt, it's not yet decided, but there will be a big converter station directly behind the power plant where you see wood at the moment. There will be a 2.2 gigawatt converter from DC to AC 380, directly connecting wind power from the North Sea to Lingen. So that means this is already also with our partners on track.
What's the relative efficiency level for the offshore wind input? Is there seasonal efficiencies, daily efficiencies, or any interruptibility issues with respect to the efficiency of the output?
I'm not sure about the concrete answer of your question, but we do have PPAs in place and we don't need some kind of hourly connection of hydrogen production and power. So we are aiming to, let's say, 5,000 full load hours per year with this. So I'm not sure about the efficiencies and anything about that, but that's what I can tell you. Hopefully that answers a little bit your question.
What is the LCOH calculation you have for these plants, if you can share?
It works with the funding. That's what I can tell you, but not better. So offtake is also a big issue within both Germany and Europe. So it's the first project. We don't expect too much money from it, but it will work with the funding that we receive, which will be a 3-digit million value, roughly. Will be announced hopefully this month also.
Hi. One of your slides, you had the gas pipeline being converted to hydrogen. Are you replacing that line, or are you somehow doing something to that line so that it'll be able to hold hydrogen?
We are doing nothing. So this is done by the grid operators like Novega and OGE. So there's also kind of a consortium between 3 grid operators, and partly it will be totally new hydrogen pipeline, and partly it will be converted natural gas pipelines to hydrogen.
How will they do that?
Sorry, how do you, when you said part of it's being converted, and I guess it's the grid operator that's doing it, I'm just trying to figure out how are you converting that pipeline? Are you putting a cover on it? Because it's different molecules, different, trying to get that through.
The pipeline will be fully converted. Just the steel will remain the same. All stuff will be replaced by the grid operators. This is not blending something. It's really pure hydrogen going through the pipeline.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you only planned on running the facility about 5,000 hours a year. How are you handling the variability, right? Depending on the type of electrolyzers, they don't like to cycle. So what is your plan for when, if you're at least in the 300 megawatt where you're getting variability in wind, how are you planning to operate the plant? Are you intending to just ramp up and down the electrolyzers? Are you building in battery storage to mitigate? What's your plan?
Great question. I can answer this in 1 year, I guess, because that's the reason why we built a pilot plant with this just 14 megawatt with both technologies, so alkaline and PEM. So that is one of the big reasons why we built this, to figure out what's the best strategy to operate such a big plant in a most effective way. So either full load of single stacks or part load of the full plant, that's to be figured out. I guess I'm out of time, so thanks a lot. Anything else, please connect to us.